bumper for you. Dun, 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 dun. We are live. There we are. Look, we're up on the YouTubes and on the Twitch.
We're up, we're down, we're up.
We're up, we down, we're up, we're down. Hey, look,
We're all
that's
around.
us. That's us, but not Badger.
What?
You're not in the picture on the stream. You're not animated.
You just have to make an actual badger with the top hat and
We are the Badgers.
And he's gonna have a little thing on his chest, like a little logo that's got like a garbage bag with a slash through it, like a Ghostbuster thing. Not Trash Panda.
and he does have a theme song. We are the Badgers. We fight for money.
No, when people ask, well, you don't have, why is Badger not animated? Because we don't need no stinking Badgers. Oh, so we were off. This is 2 weeks now. Wow.
Yeah, you'd think we'd have more to talk about. I guess maybe we'll have to find out after these messages.
What messages? These messages?
Billy Mays here for the slap chop.
Your audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
Those messages.
Those messages were a little slow in coming, but hey, it still happened.
And for anybody just watching, yes, that was completely animated by me, that beginning thing. It's not just me taking footage from Thundercats. I actually reanimated the entire opening. If you look at the scene, the Death Star's in there. There's some spaceships flying around that shouldn't be in there. Avengers Tower is on the planet. It's all new stuff.
It's gonna be fancy.
Gonna be fancy when I finally actually get it done. But where are we? What are we doing? I honestly don't know. I mean, like I said, we can't talk Ant-Man because I think I'm the only one that's seen it.
Nope, I've seen it.
I didn't get a chance to this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to. I may try and see it tomorrow. I don't know.
I will say this. It gets an enthusiastic 2 thumbs up from me, maybe even my big toe, because after the I don't know, the letdown, on my end, the letdown that was Infinity War, it was a nice, lighthearted, fun romp that made you laugh and had a whole lot of... It was better than the first one. And I liked the first one. And now when I'm seeing the rumors, or I don't know if it was rumors or not, that they wanted to get Rick Moranis to come and do a cameo in the first Ant-Man, which would have been hilarious. And in our internal chat system here, Wolfie is just hurting my feelings with some of these bad puns.
All the bad puns.
That's such an old joke, Wolfie.
If you think Wolfie is bad,
It's still funny, though. I'm laughing.
in the game I do on Mondays, the GM had to instigate a rule because 2 of our players were constantly making horrible puns.
Oh, that's kind of expected. One of the games that I heard about, it was before I showed up with my local group here, with one of the local groups here, I should say. They told me that they couldn't continue playing for like a good 30 minutes because they were making so many bird puns. And they just kept on rolling them out. It was a cardinal sin.
But the puns are free, man.
Yeah, they did try to duck it, but it was a little tough for the GM to swallow. See, some puns actually roll off the tongue real easily, and others, not so much.
right.
Bird puns work really well.
So there was one good pun in this week's session. Our characters had arrived in, if anyone is familiar with Dragon Age, we'd arrived in the Tevinter Empire. And our characters had just gotten up from the inn and we were having breakfast. And everybody was getting apple juice except for my character, who's actually from Tevinter, who got papaya juice. And papaya juice, that's it, papaya. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Papaya juice, and the other guy went, yeah. He's the only one getting it because it's proprietary.
He's really squeezing for that one. Really nothing.
Oh no, Firefly posted something here. Oh, you're gonna have to show that one.
Which one?
The link Firefly posted in the chat. I don't know if that's one of the new power boards or not, but considering that type of creature, wouldn't it actually just, vanish and reappear at the finish line?
I love that Lieutenant Tardy is still a thing, and people are trying to get it to happen.
Where did that actually come from? Because I don't remember ever hearing about it until today.
Right after the first several episodes of Discovery, people started making art of a Lieutenant Tardy and requesting that it be a tardigrade bridge officer.
That would be a really big critter, for your bridge officers.
I'm still waiting for a Horta Boff.
A what Boff?
Horta.
Oh, Horta.
Sailor.
Magato. Yeah, I could see a tardigrade is like a duty officer, like the Hortas are.
I want a Boff.
Well, I want a changeling for a Boff. Firefly suggesting a Holosela Boff. Only if they're tactical, otherwise, no point. Let's see. Zenkethidoffs. Yeah, Zenkethidoffs, I could see that for Star Trek Online. Though it'd be amusing as a bridge officer because they're massive. Just see it now, and you're trying to move around on your bridge. Like, look, Lieutenant Lizard, you need to move aside. Could you kind of just, lift your arms a little higher so I can kind of walk under you?
Why are the Gorn so big and Stowe?
Not all of them are.
You can make Gorn big, or you can make Gorn small.
Yeah, but the biggest that you can make them is still not as big as the ones that throw the rocks at you. Those guys
I just think
are
it's
massive.
ridiculous. I don't. The whole tardy thing it's funny and cute and all, but I think that's the one part of Discovery I just couldn't stand.
Tardigrade?
Yeah, just I don't know.
Well, it didn't last long.
But they still have that drive, though, right?
No.
Kinda.
In the last episode, they're talking about the fact that they're looking for another way to be able to trigger it without having to use a person.
Or tardigrade.
Or tardigrade, which is probably why it's going to be phased out and why it was never seen again.
Because realistically speaking, they should never have used it in the first place. It kind of goes against the principles of Federation.
Then again, we understand why it was allowed, because the guy running the ship wasn't actually from the Federation.
This is true. Although they had it on 2 ships. Remember? As a matter of fact, the tardigrade was on the other ship that got all kinds of messed up.
Yeah, but the tardigrade was there by happenstance. They didn't realize the tardigrade was the key until later. The tardigrade had snuck onto the other ship.
I was under the impression that they had actually captured it or acquired it because it was going for the spores, right?
They had captured it. It didn't get out.
Mistakes were made.
Bloody mistakes.
Yeah. Then it hunted a Klingon.
That scene where the Klingon's like, shh.
And it's like, yoink!
This is the start of a horror episode.
Yes. I've seen this episode. The Klingon dies first.
That's
So racist.
speciesist.
Actually, that would literally be racist.
They are a race, yes.
It's about the only time that would count.
Well, yeah, technically, if you're going to get technical about it, because we are one race.
Hey, this is the Geek EZ. We're
What?
not technical.
Well,
Always about being technical.
I've always thought the term. Well, this is not getting political stuff, but I always thought that term was just kind of a misnomer.
It really is.
I mean, if I hated cats, that would make me racist because they're a different race.
It's a holdover from an older time where
I know.
people did not understand science, and frankly, we just still don't. Frankly, there are people who just don't want to understand science.
True. But
I mean, if we wanted to be, again, because geeks, technical, correct, all that, to be technically correct and accurate, you would actually want to be considered, at least for those folks who think that way, ethnicist. Because race-wise, we're all the same race, but, ethnicities, oh yeah, there's definitely a wide variety of those.
bigot works just as good too.
Well, yeah, that covers it pretty good.
That's pretty blanket right there. Either way, yes. I mean, yeah, that's speciesist. I don't know. I just find it funny, but maybe, just maybe, without having 8 billion executive producers, the second season will be a little bit more streamlined, and it won't feel as. The first half of the season really felt like it was. This is why I was having issues with it, because the first half of the season felt like it was directed and made by committee, where they played it safe, they did cliched and obvious things, and it was like, but the second half got better.
Yeah.
And maybe because they've cleared house and cleaned house, and maybe I just think they need to get a new opener, because wow, does that suck.
The song is cool.
And the song is so. It's like they took what the semi-boring Voyager opening music and made it worse.
I don't know.
I like it.
It's okay. I don't mind it. Of course, they ended up with almost completely ended on the classic reprise, and then they put bum 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 bum. That's
I mean, it's a billion times better than the Enterprise opening.
Hey,
I like
just because you don't have faith in the heart.
I liked it too. It was different.
But you know what? All when it came to the orchestrations and the big orchestra music that Star Trek has been known for since the beginning. I mean, they used an orchestra to do the original series, and Jerry Goldsmith's work on the movies and the TV shows, and Dennis McCarthy and all these guys. They had they had these. There was even Voyager's. Even though I think it's the most boring piece of music wise, it's kind of. I don't know. It just doesn't fit. I mean, Deep Space Nine was better before they added the rock and roll drummy thing to it. I don't understand why they added the drums to it in like the third or fourth season, but
they actually explained that. The reason why they did that is because it's becoming more important and it's more lively, and that's why they also show that there was more ships showing.
Okay, I think
it made sense.
Yeah, it just felt, because I mean, it almost as if the percussions don't keep in time with the rest of the music at times.
You could say they were ship shape.
That doesn't even make sense, man.
No. Okay.
No, didn't work. I mean, your ship's stuck in customs right now. They haven't even gotten through the neutral zone.
Oh.
That was a low blow, Tank.
Oh.
I'm just saying this. They're stuck at the neutral zone, man.
I want my ship.
I don't know. They just. I was kind of hoping Discovery would have a much more triumphant kind of opening, and it's not triumphant. Well, but then again, the way the first series was more of a who done it, who is it kind of thing, I guess it makes sense. They should have just found another Who song and used that. Or Pink Floyd. Led
Yeah,
Zeppelin.
it'd be sabotage.
Yeah, it's gotta be sabotage.
I don't think that song's all that good.
It's all about how it's
You
used.
shut your mouth.
I will
Should
do
use
no
the
such
Hanukkah
thing.
song.
They should go with No Sleep Till Kronos.
But if you're Khan, you can make that in 2 jumps. Transporter technology. I can transport to another planet.
Apparently, many, many light years away. But then, of course, they can warp speed over to Kronos within, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Warp, 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 warp.
But we didn't touch on this. We touched on it very little the last time we were all together. Was the amount of new Star Trek shows supposedly in development?
Well, something like 20?
5.
25?
5.
30?
I'm the most excited for an animated series, which is something that they should have done ages ago.
It is weird that they haven't done it since the first one.
Yeah, because
They tried it, but nowhere.
I know they went nowhere because it was crap, but the aspect.
Original?
No, the one that they tried to get rebooted in the late '90s, early 2000s,
Where the
they had
Enterprise
that
was a stack of
shovel head. Yeah,
I don't
shovel
recall
head.
this.
Ugh. It was set like 1,000 years in the future after all of a sudden. Yeah, so, but Star Wars gained success because of their anime. I think it kept the brand going because we got the prequel trilogy, and it was over. And it was like, okay, no more Star Wars again. And then they're like, oh, here it comes. And they released probably one of the best animated shows out there. And then they released another one. So, I mean, Star Trek, CBS and those guys could go, oh, maybe, because it just asks for it. There's so much that they could do in animation nowadays that cost-effective wise would probably be easier than doing a live-action show.
Possibly. Hard to say. I mean, it depends on how many episodes they get and how fast they want them rolled out. Because that can drive a lot of the production costs. Because if you want it really speedy, you're going to do like 25 episodes or whatever. Yeah, that adds up pretty fast. And you got to have multiple teams working.
It worked for Lucasfilm. What did we get? 22 episodes of Rebels a year? A season?
You don't recall, but I also don't recall how many teams they had.
But then there's there really hasn't been a lot aside from the Patrick Stewart possibly coming back to reprise this role as Captain Picard. He's the new Boothby.
I could see him fitting that role pretty well.
Out there tending garden. Oh, hello.
Though it may be just a case they'll actually take some stuff from Stowe. He was an ambassador. He retired, and then he was needed to come back.
No, they'll do a whole series of him captaining a ship, and then at the end, we'll find out that he's the Species 8472 version of Picard.
No.
Like on that space station out in the Delta Quadrant.
No, he'll just wake up on a thing with Hugh Jackman looking over him, going, "Wake up! Wake up! You must have been having one heck of a dream." Oh, let's go driving and fall asleep some more. Oh, I'm sorry. I hate that movie.
We can tell.
I honestly think I would rather watch The Amazing Spider-Man than Logan. And this dude, what's his name? The director, James, what's his name? Mangold? Is that the guy's name? Who's slated to direct Boba Fett. And he was coming out a couple of months ago about how much he hated superhero films. I was like, dude, it was your superhero films that made you a name. No one saw the other two pieces of crap you ever made. They were art house movies. You made Wolverine, and then you made Logan, which was an art house superhero movie. So don't give me this crap that superhero movies are crap. And now he's talking about Star Wars fans. Now, did he have a point? Sure, but he should shut up anyway.
Well, what did he say?
He just said that he goes, if you keep talking and being the way you are, and not allowing people to be creative with the things that you like, you're going to end up with basically cookie cutter crap, and no one's going to want to go near it, and it'll just die. Which he's right, because no one went and saw. I mean, it's like no one went and saw Solo. Everybody hated The Last Jedi. Well, not everybody, but the vocal group that did hate it.
They're way too vocal. They just need to shut up. Look, if you don't want to like it, that's fine. Just don't try to force it upon others to not like it too. It's like, we'll not like it if we don't want to not like it.
Someone I know, Wolfie, and I know, he had made a comment when it was in a chat about fandom and owners and copyrights and stuff. I'll just leave it at that. As to where it was, but the comment was that fans need to get past this idea that because they're fans of something, they own it, that it's theirs. They can tell the people who are creating it what to do. And he made a comment. He goes, it started with the professional cosplayers, which in itself is an oxymoron. If you're getting paid to cosplay and you make a living cosplaying, then you're not cosplaying anymore. You should get licensed and all that kind of stuff. If you're making money off of someone else's stuff, but don't even get into this. But it was just like, we don't own it. We talk about this a lot, but it was like, he's right though. It's the mindset started back when all of a sudden it was like, oh, I can make money off of this. I can do this. I own this. And look what happened. We get people getting sued, and you get G.I. Joe movie things getting Hasbro jumping in there saying, nope, can't do the G.I. Joe movie thing. And
well, the thing is, at least in the case of Star Wars, it was always been the case where, yes, you can play in the sandbox, just don't make money off it.
It's the same thing in Star Trek.
And then people started going out of their way to make money on it, and, well, that's what you get when you crap in the sandbox.
Yes. Poop in the sandbox is all bad. Either way, the aspect of Solo and we got Solo that kind of didn't tank. No offense, tank. It's not like a flop monetarily, but it just didn't make any kind of money compared to the other Star Wars movies. And
just quite a shame.
Now that we got Lucasfilm saying that they've actually come out and said that they're not going to take risks with directors that aren't tried. They're going to stick with directors that have a reputation and that kind of thing.
What, Ron Howard didn't?
Well, no. Well, that's why they brought Ron Howard in. And I think he did a phenomenal job with Solo. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, it's made $380 million worldwide.
Yeah, well, when you think about that, The Force Awakens made that in the first weekend.
Yeah, well, The Force Awakens is an outlier. You really can't compare it to everything else. It was Star Wars is back.
True.
Feeling.
Even The Last Jedi made quite a bit of money in its first weekend,
but not as much. That's why you got people using that as an excuse to lambaste and See, they're losing money. It's like they still made well over $1 billion, people.
I mean, I know we touched on the manifesto that they wrote, the Star Wars fan, we touched on that one, but now there's a petition out to have Colin Trevorrow removed as director from Jurassic Park, the next Jurassic World movie. And I'm like, who are you people? If you don't like the movie, don't go see it. You can't petition. I was like, you know what? That the Go Chain, or what is it, change.org or whatever, where you can start a petition for just about anything. It's ridiculous.
There are things to petition that are legit and totally should do that. Then there's things that's just frivolous. Stop it, guys. Just as somebody pointed out when they argued with me about the whole Kathleen Kennedy thing, you're going to speak with your wallets. Yes, by all means. That's a legit response.
Yes.
Speak with your wallets. And that's exactly what happened with Solo.
Yeah, speak with your wallets. But then on top of that, it's the verbal abuse that everyone has to. It's like diarrhea of the internet.
Yeah, keep it to yourself. You've driven two really good people off of Instagram.
Yes. It's like, I don't like this, and you shouldn't like it either. And if you are, you're an idiot, and they're idiots for making it. It's like, whoa, he's back on the throttle there, buddy.
I've got actually a really good thing that a buddy of mine wrote in regards to The Last Jedi, and if you don't mind, I'll read it off. So, there we go. He wrote a lot, but I'm going to try to get to just the core parts here. So he's like, after rewatching The Last Jedi on Netflix, I've been going through the comment sections of lots of reviews and news pieces on the movie, trying to figure out exactly why so many vocal fans have reacted as violently as they have, and, well, it's pretty odd. There are a lot of really entitled people out there. It's like, I'm not going to sit in judgment of people who don't like the movie. We're all allowed to not like things. That's perfectly fine. He's like, you don't like broccoli. That's fine. You don't have to. Anyone who tells you have to is kind of a dick. At the same time, it's even more dickish to decide that because you don't like broccoli, stores and restaurants should be barred from serving it, and that daring to serve it constitutes disrespect to their customers. And that is therefore one's responsibility to threaten and stalk members of the waitstaff because they happen to serve some broccoli. And it just kept on going. True. And he's like, he does go, that metaphor kind of got away from me there, but you get the point. Essentially, you don't like a thing, so you've decided to try and take that thing away from everyone. Dick. So he's like, but that's, beyond that, trying to seriously figure out which part of the movie it is that has triggered people so horrendously. And yes, I mean that in the snowflakiest possible meaning of the word. So far, what I've come up with is this. 1, they made Star Wars part of the SJW agenda because some of the main characters aren't white and it features many women in positions of power. Because if there's one thing I remember about the original Star Wars, it's that diversity and female empowerment were never important themes that George Lucas meant to portray in his depiction of a vast galaxy where a limitless assortment of different alien species all mingled in shared spaces. And one of the most important members of the Rebel Alliance was a bold, headstrong young woman known for telling scary authoritarian figures to go eat the proverbial dick. 2, Disney and Rian Johnson disrespected the fans. No, they just didn't give you what you specifically wanted. They didn't make you feel like the specialist little boy that ever was and cater specifically and only to you as if you're the only Star Wars fan who ever really mattered. And the ones that Rian Johnson directly and deliberately put down online had it coming. They drove one of his lead actresses off the internet with a disgusting wave of racist, sexist, body-shaming bile. That's what he was supposed to do in that situation. 3, keep your politics out of my Star Wars, because Star Wars was, of course, never in any way political. There was more stuff in that section, but I'm moving on. The movie is bad because Luke Skywalker has bad motivation, Rey is a Mary Sue, and it has bad story structure. This one is always immediately followed by the sound of crickets chirping because the person making the claim has no idea what any of these things actually mean and doesn't understand that in order to make claims like this, one must back them up with examples. It's not my Star Wars. No, it's not. It never was. It was George Lucas's Star Wars. If you go for the EU, it was Dark Horse Comics Star Wars. It was Timothy Zahn's Star Wars, Kevin Zahn, so on and so forth. It was never yours. They can't tell your stories, only you can, so you can bitch about it on the internet, or you can get to work and start telling your own story in whatever way you know how, which, in case you didn't notice, was exactly what the movie was about. And again, if you don't like the movie and are a complete butt monkey about it, that's fine. There are valid criticisms against the movie, and we are all entitled to like and dislike things. It's like, I actively detest 8.5, which is pretty arguably one of the most important movies of all time and is universally acclaimed by critics as a great film. They're probably right. I acknowledge this. I still don't freaking like it. On the flip side, I have a deep-seated, unironic love for terrible, borderline incompetent schlockfests like The Room, The Toxic Avenger, and Troll 2. 8.5 may be a great film, but I'd rather watch a bunch of drunk driving bullies run over a bicycling kid's head played by a not that strategically placed cantaloupe. I make no apologies for this, and neither should you.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, like I say, you can get a lot more into it, but I pared it down so we didn't, get accused of plagiarism. I mean,
I don't get the whole Jurassic World one.
That I don't get it either, but I think he might be hitting on a point there. Could be a case where people are just freaking out. It's like, oh, it's not my Jurassic World. Well, of course not. It's not yours in any way, shape, or form. Never was.
Now, you know what's really funny is you don't see people doing this with Transformers.
No, we just hate Transformers.
Because, well, I mean, it's because they're universally hated.
Well, they have gotten pretty bad.
It's because we realized eventually Michael Bay would get bored.
Which I'm really hoping that the Bumblebee movie kind of revamps it a little bit. So, but the aspect of ownership and this whole and the entitlement to the Star Wars that you want. Well, if you want your Star Wars that you want, go watch and read the books that you want. Go watch the movies. I mean, it's like no one took those away. I don't understand that aspect of it. No one has taken anything away. Yes, but the portrayal of Luke, it just makes everything else a lie. How is that possible? Luke's portrayal in The Last Jedi is exactly what you would think would happen to someone who had greatness thrust upon his shoulders and was fed and force-fed this aspect of how great he was and thought he could do it all. And it all crumbled around him because just like Obi-Wan and Yoda and all the other Jedi, he went about it the wrong way, and look what happened to them.
Luke's portrayal is exactly what you would expect from a whiny little bitch who wants to go to Tachi Station.
Yep. And had Uncle Owen just said, yep, go ahead, movie would have been over. I really thought, I mean, it's like, it doesn't help that Mark Hamill came out and said what he said about Luke and all the other stuff that came out around that of it. But if you asked him now, and he has been asked now, what do you think of it? He's like, well, yeah, it made sense now.
And he did say that right not too long after those original comments. Like, once he explained it, he's like, oh, okay, I get it.
I mean, if you want to go down the list of things that people complain about, well, they didn't do any backstory on Snoke. We don't know who he was. We didn't know who the Emperor was either in the original trilogy. We heard about him in the first movie. We saw him briefly in the second film. We had no clue who this dude was. He shows up in the third movie with no backstory, no nothing, and people accepted it. And he died. Snoke was introduced as a hologram, just like the Emperor was introduced as a hologram. Shows up, and when he finally does show up, he gets killed. Same way the Emperor does. He shows up, he gets killed. What goes on to it?
I would also point out that the very character that some of these same people would probably say is the greatest villain of all time, we don't know that much about, and that's the Joker.
Oh, well, they're going to fix that. We'll touch on that in a little bit.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He likes multiple stories.
I don't think people are realizing that. I mean, because I've seen The Last Jedi now probably, 15, 16 times. I really do enjoy and it gets better every time I watch it. I just catch little bits more and more, and the story starts. Do I have my stuff? Yeah. The milking, the green milk scene, I could have done without that one. I, unlike many other people, I thought showing Leia's use of the Force that way was an awesome way to do it. That she really is the daughter of Vader and was able to save herself. Sweet. Loved it.
Yeah, made
Idiotic.
perfect sense to me.
I mean, it's like, but no one actually, I mean, the whole space chase thing, that one kind of bothers me because it really does spit in the face of physics. In space, a body in motion tends to stay in motion. So if they hit their thrusters and they got to a certain speed, unless they ran into a planet or a gravity well, they would keep going the same speed. Am I wrong?
I think it's not inaccurate, but if there isn't still constant thrust, then there's a possibility, and I'm guessing I'm not an astrophysicist by any means. It's a possibility that maybe the wash from the laser blasts may have actually knocked them back. So that's actually what was causing them to, fall back.
I don't. I mean, the whole where it's like, oh, we ran out of gas and now we're going to slow down. That's not how this works.
Well,
And
my problem with that whole scene is they show them accelerating away from the First Order ships. Therefore, that means they got away. If the First Order ships couldn't catch them at that point, they shouldn't have been able to hang behind them, firing at them. They would have moved out of range completely and gotten away.
True.
Arguably, I mean, it could be that it takes them a while to spool up after they drop out of hyperspace, and they're sure as hell not going to leave their capital ship, literal capital ship, unprotected. So that could be how they got the lead in the first place.
Yeah. The other bothersome thing is the torpedoing that was going on. They were arcing through space. And everything that we have that has been written about the laser bolt in Star Wars is that they travel in straight lines, unless there is a gravity source or something. Even then, it's light, it's photons. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Of kind of plasma type. Yeah.
Yes. Therefore, they should be fired from a gun, and they should travel in a straight line. They showed these things firing like battleships in a gravity situation, like World War II or whatever, firing and letting it has a parabolic arc to it, and then it lands on the shields of the ship. That bothered the crap out of me. No matter how many times I watch it, it's still to this point. I'm like, are they firing projectiles? Even then, a projectile will go in the direction in which it's fired. It would not fall towards the ship unless it is under its own power.
Well,
or guided.
We have seen naval-style cannons before in Star Wars and the cartoons and things, firing shells and whatnot.
Yeah,
True.
there was
There's
also
mice
flight
around.
guns that the Confederate independent system used.
And it could, I'm sure the excuse would be the same reason that the bombs dropped from the bomber went somewhere.
Oh, they're
And-
magnetic.
Well, but it also may have something to do with the way they produce artificial gravity in the Star Wars universe. It could be that it's a bubble that exists outside the ship and can pull things into it.
It's a possibility, but either way, the bombs didn't bother me because something the size of Snoke's ship would actually have mass and its own gravity. Any one of those Star Destroyers or anything, the mass is big enough that even with a slight magnetic pull, yeah, those bombs would have fallen into it. Would they have fallen as fast as they did? Probably not. The bombs didn't really bother me. And again, the only thing that bothered me is where were the Y-wings and all this?
You mean the lack thereof?
Yeah, it bothered me that there were no Y-wings.
It's like you had an effective bomber that had been in use for 80 years up to the point of they were not. Oh no, they were new in the Clone Wars, weren't they? So
Yes.
it was only a 40-year-old ship. So yeah, it would be an 80-year-old ship, but it's an effective ship.
What bothered me about the bomb scene was we've seen dropping bombs before in Star Wars, and the bombs they dropped were energy balls, not bombs.
Bomblets.
Proton bombs.
Yeah, the ones in Empire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, no one complains about the Empire Strikes Back bombs falling straight down in outer space.
Well, they're dropping them on asteroids.
Well, not only do they fall straight down, they were also in line with the TIE bomber above them until they, connected.
Yeah.
So physics at work there.
If they were energy bombs, I imagine it depends on the orientation of the energy bomb projector. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's the
proton
Havoc.
bombs. The proton bombs are actually a physical shell deal. So there was something physical to that little orb.
But like, I recall that the Havoc bomber in some of the older Starfighter games, if you used its bomb launcher on a planet, it arced down because it fired it forward in an arc. But if you used the bomb launcher in space, it fired forward like a torpedo.
So that's those little nitpicks and stuff. Yeah, and I mean, guess what? Star Trek has their problems too, and The Empire Strikes Back, arguably, it has been named the #1 Star Wars film by many polls and contests or whatever they've had out there, and it is full of problems. Like Luke Skywalker was only on Dagobah for 3 days, yet he learned all this cool stuff. It's like, wait a second. How? And then but then they say, well, there's no way Rey could have learned anything in 3 days.
I mean, like
Luke did. Well, Luke Skywalker, he was a whiny little bitch. Oh,
Actually,
Luke Skywalker was a whiny little bitch.
The part that doesn't make sense about Rey being with Luke and everything is they give them a time limit for how long they have to get to the casino planet and back, and it's way less than 3 days, isn't it?
Well, I always felt that it was the movie was being shown disjointed. Like it's not a clear timeline.
Yeah, it's not linear. She got to Octu long before they were trying to take off, and they should have opened the movie with her and not with the bombing and with the escape. That's what screws it all up, because it's like, wait a second here. If she's just now getting there and handing Luke the lightsaber, that means she was only there for like 4 hours. Yet they show days go by for her.
Well, arguably, one could. I mean, this was 20 hours and then 18 hours, so days. At least one day went by.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, it's not a horrific thing. The calling Rey a Mary Sue. Well, Luke could barely lift rocks, and she's lifting a whole quarry, and wow, it's like, oh dear Lord. And I still have yet to see the whole SJW thing. I haven't. I don't see it. I do not see it. And if they're saying it just because there are female leads in other races than white, then wow, people got issues.
As well, we know.
Yes.
There was one little nitpick that had struck out at me. I mean, since we're kind of talking nitpicks anyway. But at this point, it really doesn't matter. I mean, we can nitpick a film to death.
You know what the biggest nitpick for me was? No Lando. Oh, wait!
I think they're fixing that.
They're fixing that. I really hope they're not fixing it just because they realize they don't have any original trilogy characters anymore.
We're running out of people.
Anything
I really
that
hope they're
gets
not doing
us some Lando.
I hope they're not using that. They're doing that for the reason that he was always intended to be in the last film. But with the big one about Snoke, and it's like Snoke was never the guy that was supposed to be the baddie. I'm realizing that now. I've realized that watching The Last Jedi a couple of times. Snoke really was not supposed to be the big bad. It always was supposed to be Kylo.
Snoke just happened to be the MacGuffin that made it happen.
Yes. And I really, really don't think that he is redeemable, unlike Anakin. Where Anakin, there was conflict. I really think that Kylo Ren is evil.
He's gone into it eyes wide open,
Yeah.
and he really has.
Vader was torn from the get-go. Vader was driven by the love of his wife. He was driven by jealousy, and Kylo is driven by power.
Is he confused? Oh yeah, he's totally confused.
He was tired of being bullied.
What, Kylo?
Mm-hmm. He saw Luke as a bully, he saw Snoke as a bully, and he finally stood up for himself and did what he had to do. And he took the power that he had been craving. And it'd be very interesting to see where JJ goes with it.
I don't know about him being bullied. I think he is the bully.
Isn't that usually how that works, though?
Oh, sure. I mean, a lot of times a bully becomes a bully because they were bullied in turn, but he may be doing a lot of projecting. I think he's just really, in some respects, he's very confused, but he's at this point, like, accepting it. He's totally down with it. Whereas Anakin did it because he was doing it out of love, and then it's like, now that I'm here, you know what? I can probably do more. I can take over Palpatine. I can do everything in order to make things better for my family, for everybody. I can take total control and make things better.
Yes.
You know, the path to evil is paved with good intentions type thing. Whereas Kylo Ren, no, he's not doing it for good intentions. There's no good intentions with what he's doing.
No.
He's just a
Dick.
just an ass. Yeah, let's keep it with the theme of the discussion today. He's just a dick.
I don't know. I just really wish more people. Like I said, I give it a few years, and I think The Last Jedi will be. It'll have turned. There'll be a turnaround somewhere, just like The Empire Strikes Back.
Turn around.
I'm just really hoping we don't get another Return of the Jedi where, like, oh, we're going to make Starkiller Base 2, where it's 2 planets instead of 1.
With a giant Star Destroyer sticking out between them.
It looks like boobs. Boobs. Oh. Oh, yeah. I completely forgot that popped up today. Wolfie just posted it was you, Wolfie, right?
Yes.
You're the one dropping links left and right. Looks like we're getting RoboCop back.
Wait, what? I thought that died.
No, RoboCop. They're gonna. I guess they didn't say whether it's a sequel to the reboot or it's a sequel to the originals.
The IO9 story says that it's a sort of sequel / reboot to the original film and unrelated to the 2014 remake.
Excellent. Which is what they should have done in the first place. But it's Neil. How do you say his last name?
Patrick Harris?
Blomkamp.
Blomkamp. The South African director who did District 9 and Chepe. And was going to do Alien, and then Ridley Scott came in and said, no, Alien is mine, and I'm going to ruin it. Okay. I got no love for that one because he actually did. He took something that was awesome and had a lot of coolness to it, and totally screwed with the mythology. I did it first. It was mine. Yeah, well, guess what? Had Tolkien done to the Lord of the Rings what you did to Alien, no one read his books anymore. Get rid of the yeah. What's his? Oh, Xenomorphs.
You seem a little perturbed.
Well, it's just 2 films came out in that trilogy. 2 films, and it was like, yeah, we had 2 flops. We had the 2 Alien versus Predator movies, and they were. But I mean, even Alien 4 is kind of. Was it? What was the last Alien? What was that one called? That Resurrection.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was better than the 3rd one. So either way, but we had 2 really good Alien movies, 2 okay Alien movies, 2 really bad Alien movies, and then along comes Ridley Scott with Prometheus, which looked like it was going in the right direction, and then kind of veered left, and then we get his latest one.
You mean
Alien.
just like the people running from the ship should have done?
Yes. Had you just ran left, you would have missed it. It would have just not hit you at all. You had plenty of time to get out of the way. But they do that a lot in movies. Hey, something's falling directly at us at the exact same angle at which we are running. Well, change angles.
We can't do that. The camera's not ready for that.
Just do a 90 degree and you'll be fine.
Just move lazy to the left.
Yes.
Fire the port retro thrusters. We'll be fine in 5 minutes.
But as confusing as Prometheus was, as to the whole muddying up the waters of the alien stuff, by the time we got to his latest one, which I can't even remember the name to, I seen it, but I can't remember its name, and it was all over it was so everywhere. So unlike George Lucas doing what he wanted, I realized that Lucas owned Star Wars, but guess what, Ridley Scott, you didn't own Alien. You just were the director on the first one. But either way, it's like the Michael Bay Transformers movies. People still went and saw them. They still made money. And we're getting another Predator movie, which I don't think we need. But
we're also getting another Transformers called Bumblebee.
Well, yes. You know what I don't have? I have images of the Bumblebee.
Do you?
I do. There he is. There's Bumblebee. Bumblebee, they did the design work on him. It just looks so much better. And Starscream. He just looks so much better than the Michael Bay ones. I don't know why, even though it's got Michael Bay's face.
Who's going to be the voice of Starscream?
No.
And I know it's a shot in the dark, but I still hope it's Steve Lowe.
Now, I don't have it. I know it's floating around out there that because we got a whole bunch with Comic-Con coming up. There's a whole lot of stuff that's going to be getting put out there. Like we'll probably get an Aquaman trailer, Shazam trailer, another Bumblebee trailer, and a few other movies that people have been waiting for trailers for. I wonder if we'll get an Infinity War trailer or the Avengers 4 trailer.
I don't know, but the new Christopher Robin trailer is out, and Pooh is not a figment of his imagination. Other people can see him and hear him when he moves and talks.
Hello there. Ah, Pooh. What do you keep posting on this Transformers stuff? What is all that?
Is that a roll?
Oh, Wizards of the Coast is making a Transformers game.
I don't have anything against Wizards of the Coast. They make good product. But, what the hell am I going to be? Am I going to be a Ford Focus? Transform into that?
Ford Focus?
That's what I drive. Are we playing? Would you be playing as people, or would you be playing as the Transformers? I would want to play as the Transformer. And then it's like, oh shit, what kind of vehicles can I transform into that is, valid and you're a robot in disguise? Because I can't exactly be a tank. Well, I could, but still, you can't really be in disguise on the streets of a town if you're a tank. I wonder who that is.
I didn't realize people still played those kind of card games, tabletop card games like that.
What are you talking about, dude? It's grown
Really?
tremendously. Massively, dude.
Nah, I remember there used to be like every time there was a comic store, it's like, oh, card game here on Friday nights or whatever. I don't see that stuff anymore.
Depends on where you look, and it depends on the game in question. Like, if it's Magic the Gathering, oh yeah, it's massive, dude. That thing is just still going strong after many years. It did have a period where it kind of crapped out, but that's because they swamped the market. But they seem to have gotten themselves under control.
So what we got here? We got Wolfie is just dropping links left and right, which is a good thing because it's like all the stuff that I have not been paying attention to while working and getting ready to leave for Florida in a few days.
Firefly does mention Mike Pondsmith is apparently working on a Witcher pen and paper RPG.
What?
Witcher.
Yeah, I talked about this the other day. We were in chat.
It had my attention.
You like The Witcher?
Hmm.
In case you're not aware, that's the Badger sound for it. Oh yeah. Or as Tate puts it,
Let's put it this way. I have the director of the I started a Twitter account just so I could read the tweets from the new director of The Witcher 3 on Netflix, or the Witcher series on Netflix. And they did, she posted two, I don't want to say interviews, but screenplay type things where they auditioned for the role of Yennefer.
you're gonna have to explain.
Yes, you are.
Because I've never played Witcher, and I don't know if anybody else here has.
So-
I own all three. I've played none.
So The Witcher essentially is an you play a not only a bounty hunter, but he's I can't really even describe it. It's a fantasy game, but you play something called a Witcher, where Geralt of Rivia, and you're essentially almost the last of your kind. And a long time ago, witchers and sorcerers existed among humans. And nowadays, there was a war called the Conjunction of the Spheres, and people don't like witches, sorcerers, or witchers anymore, so they shun them. And they actually hunt. They actually have they're shunned. And without giving too much away, it's a very good series with very good storylines. The games have phenomenal storylines. The books are even better. If you have not read the books or played the games, I highly suggest you do so. The stories just blow your mind. They're fantastic.
Think of a Witcher as basically a high fantasy version of a Spartan from Halo. They're taken in as kids, they're given extreme training, they're treated to alchemical processes, they're mutagenic compounds, that sort of stuff. I'm on the Witcher wiki.
Well, it's apparently
They've had 3 of them. They've also won numerous awards. It is by
They're
far
also one of the few companies that continue to practice the idea of an actual expansion pack.
Yep. And the expansions, oh my god, the DLC for Witcher 3 was almost better than the storyline, the main story.
And about as long.
Yeah, about almost as long each. I probably easily have about 600 hours logged into a single-player game.
it's many hours.
It is. It's worth it. The game is fantastic. The storylines are fantastic. oh, the game made me go back and play Witcher 1 and 2, and then I bought all the books, all 7 of them. I think there's an 8th one on the way called Season of Storms. Actually, no, I think it's already out. But I have read almost all of them, and I am hooked on the books. The books flesh out all the characters completely to the point where you see the game and you're like, okay, I can see where the developers went this way with this character. And it's just, I can't describe it. They're fantastic. There's things from the books that they mention in the game that are going to go over most people's heads. And it's fantastic. They did a really good job, and I can't shut up about it. It's fantastic.
Did you know that there was a Polish Witcher movie made in 2001?
Yes, I did.
Well,
And
The
there was
Witcher
a
is Polish.
There was a TV
it's-
series made
It's called
too.
The Hexer.
Yeah, it was a 3-episode movie called The Hexer.
Hexer, Witcher, Hexer.
But
Oh.
I cannot wait for the show.
What the Hexer?
I've been meaning to sit down and play the games. I just really haven't had the time.
Yeah, you need to commit like a vacation to play The Witcher 3.
That
'Cause
implies
you
I get vacations.
You ain't gonna get sleep.
Sorry, I'm listening to you while I'm reading the stuff about Disney shifting stuff around their schedule.
I guess we also know which version of the next Soul Calibur game that Patrick's going to get. Oh. I should also point out that the Witcher medallion is friggin' sweet.
Freaking sweet.
It is. It's badass. I have one.
Hello there. Now, my little friend, let's see what you are, or who you are, where you come from. That's pretty sweet.
Oh, woo!
Am I the only one who thinks that Harrison Ford is just too old to play Indiana Jones?
It would be kind of fun if he actually played the same role that Sean Connery did. Now, actually passing the torch on.
But to whom?
No, they should just have the next Indiana Jones movie be him in old age makeup with an eye patch doing the intro like the old Young Indiana Jones TV show, and then flash to Young Indiana Jones.
Dude, he's as old as the guy who played old Indiana Jones in that show.
No, I don't think so. I think that guy was much older.
By the time they said a 2021 release, he's gonna be what, 80?
He's definitely an older fella.
Okay, he's 75. He's 75. So if they start shooting this film, I guess maybe he could pull it off. It's kind of like watching Sylvester Stallone in action movies. It's like, oh yeah, check this 75-year-old man beating people up.
It'd be funny though, just if they did pass, they're passing the torch on. It's Harrison Ford playing the part of Sean Connery, whatever, and the person he passes it on to may not actually be his son, may be somebody who's just going to take up the mantle of, continuing to protect archaeology and artifacts and such because it belongs in a museum. God damn it. And it's Adam Driver.
Colorado Smith.
I think that'd be great. It'd be Adam Driver, and they could somehow throw in a little joke in there. It's like, you're just killing me over here.
Don't make me stab you, old man.
And the way Driver comes across when you actually see some of the interviews and stuff, he would totally play that up.
Yes.
Hell,
Very much
he's
so.
murdered him in jokes. To where, like, with Harrison Ford present, Harrison Ford would be like, "Oh, I could tell you a knock-knock joke. Here, okay, go ahead." And he turns and he just looks at Adam and he goes, "Knock, knock," and Adam goes, "Hello," and then just smiles because he knew exactly he was screwing it up. And the guy's just like, Harrison's just going, "What the? Why are you doing this to me?" And the captions that have followed from those images have been like, "I've never seen a man get murdered twice."
Yeah, I don't know. Just another. It's well, I enjoy Indiana Jones movies. I can honestly say that Crystal Skull was a definite meh movie. It had its moments. I enjoy it for what it was, but I'm just like, where would they go for? What else can he do? I do find it very interesting that the two films that dealt with Judeo-Christian artifacts made more money and were better received than the two that didn't. Because he went after the Lost Ark and the Holy Grail, and those were critically and what's the word I'm looking for? Audience alike. They got higher marks than Temple of Doom and Crystal Skulls.
But Temple of Doom is so good.
Oh, I'm not saying Temple of Doom's a bad movie. It just didn't make as much money as the other two of the originals, three.
But I think that's random happenstance. I don't think it has anything to do with the artifacts they're pursuing.
I don't know. I think it kind of, I don't know. That's true. I think a lot, I mean, I know when it came out that people were very unprepared for the brutality in the film. That they said it was much more, there was much more, it was more brutal, more graphic, more this, more that, and it kind of...
because Spielberg and Lucas were in very dark places at that time.
True. And again, but it shows in the film. Whereas Raiders of the Lost Ark was an adventure film that kept in line with the serials of the 30s and stuff, and had it, as was Last Crusade. Temple of Doom was a much darker film that really, even though it ended on a good note, didn't really feel like a good ending. It still felt, I mean, it's like, yeah, okay. And then there was the Crystal Skulls, which they tried and somewhat failed to pull off a 1950s sci-fi film using Indiana Jones.
Why was Short Round not at Indian Marion's wedding?
He didn't know Marion.
But he's basically Indy's adopted son.
Why did Goonies 2 never happen?
Because Goonies never die.
And that's when you find out that that Short Round is really Data's dad, even though they're played by the same actor.
Well, it wouldn't be Data's dad. It'd be his, great ancestor.
Oh no! Let's see. Goonies came out in what? The 80s. What was it? 85. And Last Crusade would have been, or Temple of Doom would have been 33, I think. And he was, what, 7 years old and 33? So he could have been a 50-year-old father. He wasn't that old when they showed Data's dad in the movie. And why was the octopus cut from the Goonies? Bet you didn't even know there was supposed to be an octopus.
I did.
No.
Yeah, Data even mentions it when they're talking about the octopus was scary. There was an octopus scene. I guess they cut it for time. You guys watch Stranger Things?
Not yet.
Oh, dude.
I just finished Luke Cage.
Oh, I haven't even started Luke Cage yet.
It's good.
I was discussing this with my little sister the other day, and having grown up, I mean, I was that age. It takes place in 83 and 84, so technically those kids are a year older than I was at that time. Watching those 2 seasons, it is freaky the way it makes me feel. It's like, oh my god, it's almost as if I can remember. It's really weird because I grew up then. I know what it looked like, and they got it so right. And it just the music and everything just had the right feel of when I was a kid in the early 80s. And I was like, oh, Lord, this is just a really well done show. The first season is better than the second one, though, I think. Even though they're really good. They both get thumbs up. I would definitely highly recommend them. And my sister tells me that The Expanse is something I should be watching.
I recommend The Expanse, yes.
Yes,
I've only watched the
highly.
first season.
Highly recommend it.
I cannot. I haven't. She's like, don't you watch TV anymore? You used to watch it all? I was like, no, I don't. I really don't. Not like I used to. She's like, what do you do? I was like, well, if I'm working, I usually put it in the same movie over and over. And it's like I can recite certain films backwards now because I just listen to them. They're on in the background. It's either that or Paw Patrol, SpongeBob, and Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers is entertaining.
I love that show. It's very funny. And are we done? We got anything else? Anything? We just sit here and ramble about anything we want to now?
Like we always do, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, when it came down to geeky stuff, not much has happened. Nothing that's like blow your socks off, make you go, whoa!
Yeah, there's definitely some amusing things that have been going on. I mean, I know this is kind of touching on verboten territory, but you have to admit, the Brits are just, you gotta love them for what some of the shenanigans they get up to. I mean, they've created a certain kind of balloon, and they're going to float it around. And now they're doing a GoFundMe to have a tour of the world following after a certain individual.
Isn't that kind of petty, though?
Mm,
I mean, I'm not defending the man, because honestly, there are things that just make me go, oh my god, shut up! Oh my god, shut up! But levels of that just seems.
well, let's.
When I think protest, it's like, would the protesters of the '60s and '70s have done stuff like that?
Yes,
You think?
they did.
Float balloons around and stuff like
Not
that?
balloons particularly, but they did travel around and.
Well, they did travel around and protest.
So it's kind of the same thing. But the funny thing is that he's. I think the reason why they're doing it is because he's already gone out of his way to try to avoid going to London in the first place, so he won't see it. Crazy thing, I guess. The embassy in London actually put out a notification that basically says any American tourists here in London don't go be an idiot and basically, don't go attack them, because that is probably exactly what they do.
It's 1776 all over again. I got your tea right here, buddy.
Oh, that reminds me. Since last week was a holiday week, I got a guy who's from England who works with me, and he's in a bay next to mine, because we can't put everybody on the team in the same bay. And before he left before I could say anything to him last Tuesday. So I said, oh man, I was gonna tease him a little bit, because he's an actual Brit here experiencing what the 4th of July here is in the U.S. I'm sure it's fascinating from his viewpoint. And one of my other coworkers says, you know what you should do? So when he comes back next week, you should go into his area, take a tea bag, and then throw it into the bay, quote unquote. I'm like, oh, that's terrible. I'm going to do it. So on Monday, I went over. He was the only one in his bay, and I was like, "It looks kind of lonely over here." He's like, "Yeah, yep, it's just me right now." I was like, "I guess you could call this an English bay then, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I guess I could see that." I hold up the tea bag, and then I throw it down onto the floor. He knew exactly what I was referencing. He was laughing. I was like, "I had to do it, man," and I'm glad that you took it the right way.
Yes, we are so. I don't know. I was never one big on fireworks and all that kind of stuff. 4th of July, I always think people. I laugh when it's like, "Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna." It's like, really, for the 4th of July, you're gonna go out and do all this? Yeah, what are you gonna do? Just enjoy the fact that I can do nothing and get away with it in this country?
Most people can't.
Enjoy the fact that I can sit here and have Facebook and Amazon spy on me while I'm on on my computer. That is kind of freaky. I keep seeing the people pop these kind of things up where they're not even talking near the computer or their phones, and stuff pops up on their stuff. It's like, okay, now you're freaking me out.
There was actually a study that some guys did that, even though they're not saying it definitively proves it, they currently say there's no actual proof that backs up the idea that your apps are listening to you. They did find other things that were worrisome. But that particular one, they couldn't prove that it doesn't happen. But out of they had 13 or so phones that they had plugged in. It's like they weren't actually recording anything. Again, they admit though that there's some issues with their study that could have thrown it off because they only had them plugged in and sitting in a drawer somewhere because it was too noisy in their lab and things like that. So they're not going to rule it out as a possibility. So the fact that somebody actually went and did a study on it because it's such a prevalent thing these days.
Well, it is kind of freaky. The happenstances, if it is just a happenstance, is really freaky.
It's a happenstance. It happenstances all the time.
They're listening. They're always listening.
I'm waiting to have a new voice and they just pop in here. No, we're not. Wait, forget we said that.
Well, here's one for you.
Come to find out, I'm an undercover FBI agent.
Facebook has been around for how long?
Too long?
A little while now.
And I'm guessing that a lot of the younger generation have basically given up on Facebook because it's full of old people, right?
Tumblr spies on people too.
Yay, they finally got off my lawn.
That's funny. But I was just curious where social media will go in the next 10 years.
To your temple. Literally, they'll have an app that downloads right to your brain.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So does that mean if I get a computer virus that I can call in from work?
You could try, but you'll be trying to sell them porn when you're talking to them.
I'd be okay with that.
Be funny. I can't come into work today. Oh, why not? Because I've fallen into a lot of money and I need you to send it to me immediately. Send me your credit card number so I can initiate a wire transfer. Oh, sorry. That's my computer virus kicking in.
Gotta wait for the Norton technician to show up.
It still amazes me that that is still out there. Those emails still get sent on a daily basis.
I think a lot of them these days, I mean, granted, there's still people apparently hitting it, but a lot of those are just being forwarded now. It's like, hey, look, it's shown up again.
It's like, did it ever work? It had to have worked Someone had to have clicked on it and said, oh, I won money, or I've got money sitting in a South African bank somewhere. It's like, have you ever been to South
There's
Africa?
not a week that goes by that my mother-in-law doesn't bring her phone to me with an email saying, is this legit? Did I win money?
Really?
Really?
She's fired.
And I tell her the same thing every time. Diana, did you enter a lottery? Did you enter any contests? Well, no. Then you didn't win any money.
Well, there are people who fall for things, but at least she's asking. Also, I like Firefly's comment here about the apps that are downloaded right to your brain. Well, you have to think in Russian. Yes, you probably will.
Let's not get into that.
No, we're not really getting into it. I mean, we just
He
know
would be
that,
getting into us.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, very well played, comrade.
So many puns.
But yeah, I mean, we know that there's a lot of a massive Russian and Chinese presence online doing that sort of thing. So yeah, it's very possible if they did come out with apps that download straight to your brain, you might download the wrong one from the Google Brain Store.
And then someone will say something like, sour cream and cheese Prinkles, and next thing I know, you're on like a plane flying to Denmark to take somebody out. Why are you here? I don't know!
I don't know. I also don't know why I'm on this catwalk. But I'm strutting my stuff.
If you can go anywhere in the galaxy, universe, of any universe, where would you want to go?
In any
Of any of the anything out there, sci-fi wise, or comic book, or anything.
Zeltron.
Rhizo. Or Zeltron, either one.
If you want to know why Zeltron, Zeltron has never been successfully invaded because every time an army managed to successfully land, they had a party.
They just joined in. Hey, we've invaded. Great! More people to party. Here! Join in the festivities.
I would go to pre-Clone Wars Alderaan.
You might want to go further back. Because that would just mean that you get to stay on Alderaan for about, I don't know, 20 years.
I didn't say to stay, I just want to visit.
Oh, hell with that. I'm going to stay. I mean, Alderaan, especially when you look at the Old Republic, Alderaan's a beautiful planet. I'd stay.
You visit you visit Clone Wars Old Republic, you file a bunch of insurance claims.
File a bunch of insurance claim on just random people.
On buy some property, get some insurance. Couple,
and then make sure
20,
you're off
20
planet.
and then you make sure you're off planet, and then 20 years later, it's like, I need to file a claim. Or what happened? The whole planet blew up.
I'm sorry, but we don't cover acts of God or Emperor. Son of a... Insurance companies always try to get out of giving me money.
I had seen that pop up recently. It's like, if you can go anywhere, where would it be? I saw a couple of you say Gotham City. I was like, really? Gotham City? You'd want to go to Gotham City?
It's full of steam, man. You can't see anything.
I'd want to visit, but I wouldn't want to be there very long.
I don't even think I'd go to Gotham City? No way.
Only during the daytime.
Heard so, Middle Earth was a couple of them. I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
The Bottle City of Candor.
There you go.
I don't think you want to do that now.
No, not now.
Bad things happened.
Yeah,
Man,
they'd be
Bendis-
scraping you off of the bottom of his shoe.
I was going to say, Bendis, man, he went in swinging, didn't he?
Yeah, and not only did he go in swinging, but he then took the bloody bat that was left over and just kept beating what was left. He totally upended everything in the Superman universe.
Kind of. Although, I'm not sure how... they brought back Jor-El again, and I'm not sure how that worked, considering that that guy was taken away. So there's got to be a story I missed somewhere. Wasn't a bad story though.
No, I really don't like the fact that Jor-El is out there. Not happy about that at all. It's kind of like it'd be like bringing back Anakin Skywalker, and be like, "Hey, look, I'm your dad again." It's like, what? But I'm still a bad guy, kind of, sort of. What?
I'm confused.
Yeah. It's like the whole. It was like when he was an orphan. There was only him and Supergirl. It was fine. Now there's Kryptonians left and right. It's like, really? I mean, what was the point of the planet blowing up if everybody survived? It kind of takes away that whole, I don't know, stranger in a strange land aspect of Superman.
Well,
And then
it's
there's
like,
Batman.
yeah, it's just like the
The what?
sorry, phone's ringing.
I was gonna say he just trailed off and nothing. I wouldn't mind visiting the Marvel 616 New York. Just because there'd be superheroes like everywhere. You couldn't like throw a rock without hitting a superhero.
Yeah, it'd probably piss him off.
Probably.
It'd be Luke Cage that you hit. I was like, oh, totally sorry, dude.
What? Did you do something?
Didn't mean to throw a rock at you. That was... Oh, that's what that was? I thought it was a mosquito.
Could Iron Fist beat the Abomination? Seriously,
Probably
random
not.
stuff going through my head right now.
I mean,
It
in a straight...
depends.
I mean, yeah, in a straight fist fight, no. This Abomination is just, it's Hulk power. But
Iron
if
Fist
keeps
is
being, if he can maintains being agile and avoiding hits, he might eventually wear him down.
And I mean the comic book Iron Fist, not the Kung Lung guy did there.
Iron Fist is strange in that with all his skills and his power, you'd think he'd kill lots of people, but he generally doesn't kill. But if he were to hit Abomination full on with the power of his Iron Fist, the dragon power or whatever, I think he'd obliterate him.
I don't know. I don't recall ever seeing him go all out.
Could Doomsday kill the Hulk?
Doomsday, I would say, would eventually wear out the Hulk. Because even if the Hulk kills him, Doomsday will come back, and he can't be killed that way again.
Hulk would simply punch him harder.
But it doesn't matter, because Superman did that, and it didn't work the second time.
I love that. That is always going to be a bone of contention with me because it's always there's a split down there. If you're a DC fan, Superman would win that fight, and Hulk would win if you're a Marvel fan.
And let's not forget the fact when Superman threw Doomsday at the sun, he still came back.
Yeah, I think eventually, well, I mean, not even eventually, I'm pretty confident Doomsday would defeat the Hulk in the long run.
I do believe that Superman, and I'm not just saying this because I am a DC fan more than a Marvel fan, but I really do think that in a fight that was prolonged, Superman would beat the Hulk.
Yeah, probably he's got other things available to him that the Hulk doesn't have.
Iron Fist apparently knocked out Scar, the son of the Hulk.
I mean, there's easy ways to if he's going to do it. If he could actually get the Hulk to stop swinging at him and take him out into outer space, I'm pretty sure he could kill the Hulk.
The Hulk has been able to apparently jump from the moon, I think. So that's not going to kill him.
If he threw his butt into the sun, it would.
Well, he wouldn't even have to throw him into the sun. He'd just have to get, a clear line of sight with the sun and say, hey, look at that. I'm suddenly stronger too.
True.
Hey, you know that heat vision thing I've got? Let's take it up to 11.
Superman wouldn't kill the Hulk, though.
No.
Well,
Not unless he
Wonder
had to.
Woman would.
yeah, I don't think Wonder Woman would be able to go toe to toe with the Hulk for long.
She doesn't have to. She's got the martial arts skill to be efficient about it.
Well, if you're gonna be efficient about it, would the Vulcan nerve pinch work on the Hulk?
That is a more interesting situation because one, is the Hulk even going to let him get that close?
True.
I mean, when he's flailing about as the Hulk, he's really flailing about.
Hulk smash.
I mean, I suppose Spock could potentially, if he's agile enough and avoids the hits, he could, jump onto the guy's back. But he'd have to be real quick with that pinch. And good lord, man, could you imagine him trying to grip that thick neck?
I mean, there's got to be pressure applied to the nerve, so therefore, would he actually be able to pull it off? It's like we've seen it in the books that he's done it to Wolverine. Did it last long? No, but he did it.
Well, according to Nimoy, he always described it as when he does the pinch, it's not actually pinching on the nerves. There's an energy passing between the fingers that hits the nerves that causes the passing out. So, arguably, yes.
Seeing as the Hulk's skin is near impenetrable, it's almost as impenetrable as Superman's.
He also heals fast.
True. So does Superman, as long as he's within sunlight.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it's arguable that he could, but Spock could nerve pinch the Hulk. Whether it actually drops him or not is another matter.
The weirdest battle to me would be Hulk versus Strong Guy, because the harder Hulk hits Strong Guy, the stronger Strong Guy gets, and the fact that Hulk can't, that would make Hulk angrier and angrier, making him stronger and stronger. And then he'd keep hitting Strong Guy harder and harder, and Strong Guy would get stronger and stronger.
Well, another example, I had some guy actually did it based off an idea I posted on DeviantArt years ago, was Broly versus the Hulk.
Broly has a limit, though.
It's just a really stupidly high limit. I mean, he's the legendary Super Saiyan, and he kept on getting more powerful.
I still say the Hulk.
See, I will concede the Saiyans versus Superman, because isn't that sort of a mystical energy as well?
No,
it's key.
it's just it's their own energy.
When they go Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, then it becomes sort of mystical.
I know some people say Wolverine would beat Superman because supposedly adamantium is a variation of some form. It's a form of kryptonite or something.
Oh, now people are stretching on that one.
He would melt him before he got anywhere close to him.
Yeah, and all Superman would have to do is speed punch him. That's it. One speed punch, done.
I think it might potentially scratch him because it is adamantium, but I don't think it would actually kill him.
Well, yeah, because what he could do is speed punch him into the sun.
One Punch Man versus the Hulk.
That's the whole point of One Punch Man. One Punch Man wins.
He plays the game. I win. How does he win? One punch. I mean, I think arguably we could do a better Death Battle than Death Battle does.
We probably could.
We would actually take the time to do actual research and not stuff that could be found in 5 minutes, so they forgot to include.
Yeah, I was laughing because there's on one of the comic book one of those, somebody had posed the question of who was faster, the Flash or Quicksilver, and this one dude would not get off the fact that in the movie X-Men, the X-Men movies, Quicksilver is shown traveling as fast as he does. Yes, that's that version of Quicksilver in that movie.
The comic book versions, it's not even close. Flash is way faster.
Yes, Flash.
And Marvel has even admitted as much.
Yes, he just someone did it where Flash can travel as fast, if not faster than light at times, whereas Quicksilver is only so many times faster than the speed of sound.
Isn't
So,
the Wizard faster than Quicksilver?
Yes. Quicksilver might land a punch or two, but in the time that he lands those 2 punches, the Flash will have hit him like 1,000 times.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Flash is way faster than
Yes.
Quicksilver.
The Flash is faster. He's actually faster than Superman. They proved that in the comic books.
It depends.
North
Which
Star's
Flash?
faster than Quicksilver.
The comic books recently, in the Flash comic books, I guess.
But is it
Wally
Barry
West.
Allen? Wally West? Okay, yeah.
No. Wally West is kind of losing his mind because of the way he was brought back into the fold. And I still want to know where they're going with this story because it all stems back from the New 52 and all this, and they're trying to rebirth everything. Well, he's having memories that he doesn't understand, and he's confused and all this kind of stuff, so he's kind of going crazy. And Zoom convinces him that he has to break the Speed Force or something, so he takes off, and Barry takes off after him. And they're keeping up with each other, and then the Justice League gets called in, and Superman says, "I'll go get them." They race around the world a few times. Superman finally stops and goes, "I can't catch them. They're too fast." And he's huffing and puffing. So, yes, they have proven that the Flash and both Wally West and Barry Allen are much faster than Superman.
Well, it's also been admitted that whenever he does the charity races with Superman, he holds back so that he doesn't beat him.
Yes.
It's just making it more interesting.
Well, and so apparently Dwayne Johnson has said that in the Shazam movie, there will be no cameo as Black Adam.
Oh, man. Well, then who's he going to take on?
Who knows?
Adam Driver.
He's going to be the bad guy in every movie.
I feel like I'm being torn apart
And
between all these franchises.
The costume of Shazam will bring back the Golden Age vibe.
Yeah, there's an actual image that was released. Finally, an actual official image.
I still think it looks pretty ridiculous.
But that's Shazam. Shazam is ridiculous.
He's the big red cheese, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's campy. He's like a funnier, more childlike Superman.
Even though Superman could beat him.
Oh yeah, Shazam gets his ass kicked all the time.
Well,
but it's
No,
fun. He's funny.
Shazam has beaten Superman before.
Once he realizes he can use magic, or that he is magic, Superman's biggest weakness is magic.
And kryptonite.
The problem is even with all the fake muscles in the suit, he's still not shaped like a Dorito.
Well, there's only one superhero shaped like a Dorito.
The pouch.
The Dorito. I still find it funny that little touch that Haley Atwell gives Chris Evans in that
Or
scene
almost
is
touches.
totally authentic.
Oh yeah, she was completely...
She was taken aback
Oh, God.
because she didn't realize. I don't think that when they blocked out the scene, he wasn't shirtless. So when they finally shot the scene with her where she walks up and she touches him for the first time,
Almost.
that is really Haley Atwell doing that.
Because she didn't quite touch him. And the funny thing is, did you see the nurse in the background?
Yes.
So she's just like, yeah, touch him, sister.
Do it. Such a good movie.
See,
It
he's
was.
shaped like a Dorito.
Still a big red cheese, man.
I kind of have to wonder, though, it's been a few years since that film. Has he actually gotten smaller?
I don't think so.
Like a little leaner.
He might have
He was
gotten leaner.
pretty swole in that film.
Oh, he was super swole in that film. I know the one who has gotten bigger has been Hemsworth.
No, Hemsworth had to drop mass because he was having trouble fitting in the costume.
Well, then he got more ripped because woof.
His muscles got so big that the costume got tight on him because they did the fitting and then he kept working out.
Oops.
Oh, when you get paid to work out.
Oh, they
Somebody-
fixed that. He doesn't have sleeves anymore.
Somebody paid me to work out. I'd go do it too.
I'd be swole in about 6
Well, I'm
months.
swole. Just in the
Len.
wrong places.
I'm swole, Len.
Okay. DC Marvel. You're going to team them up. You're given the thing. We're just rambling at this point just to fill up time. You said take 2 characters or 2 teams or whatever and put them on in the same thing and say, okay, now we need bad guys. What 2 teams and what bad guys would you put those teams against? And or single characters.
Hold on, are we creating mixed teams or what?
Well, no, you'd say, okay, you got Spider-Man from the Marvel Universe and say you want to throw Nightwing in alongside him.
And then you have to have a versus bad guy group.
You have to have you have to have like a team up with the bad guys too, so it makes it kind of.
Well, at this point, we're basically doing Marvel versus Capcom, but only with DC characters.
Firefly right off the bat. Punisher and Deathstroke go after the leadership of Intergang. I like that one.
Would Punisher actually work with Deathstroke?
I'm with that.
I mean, I'm not against it, but would he actually work with Deathstroke, considering that, you know, Deathstroke probably falls in the same category as the people that the Punisher would punish?
Yeah. But Intergang's a bigger bad guy.
The enemy of my enemy is still my enemy. I'll kill you later.
Rocket
So,
Raccoon and
apparently,
Captain Carrot.
now, correct me if I'm pronouncing this guy's name wrong, but Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, Digimon Hansu
Yes.
is joining DC's Shazam as the Wizard.
Yes.
I did not know this.
They're crossing. Everybody's crossing over now.
I'm still wondering how they're going to do Mr. Takitani.
Trying to think who this character is.
The anthropomorphic talking tiger.
Oh yeah.
I'm still thinking of a team.
And it's like, let's see.
Firefly.
Villain duo. Sabretooth and Cheetah. Nice. I like that.
I can't do as a villain duo Joker and Red Skull because, well, we know what happens there. The Joker is a crazy American, patriotic crazy American, and does not care to work with Nazis.
Yes, that has been proven.
I thought it was just a mask. I'd say Steve Rogers and Batman, or potentially, Batman and Black Panther. Either one of those would be good for hero team.
I would actually say Batman and Iron Man.
No, the egos
They
are
would
getting away.
hate each other.
They wouldn't
I
be able.
know.
They wouldn't be able to work with each other.
I know, but it'd be funny to watch.
It's the same reason you couldn't do Batman and Moon Knight, because they would instantly just clash.
That's true.
Against a villain team. Oh wait, we're supposed to actually pick who they would fight, not a villain team specifically, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, if there was a reason why the two good guys would have to get together, is because their bad guys had teamed up and decided they were going to do something.
All right.
I want Iron Man versus classic power armor Lex Luthor.
I like that.
I could see Cyborg and War Machine teaming up against the Crimson Dynamo and Metallo.
Ooh.
Yeah? Yeah?
I'd replace War Machine with Forge.
I'm just trying to think of like DC characters that, I mean, because there can be some clashing. I think Captain America and Batman would work really well together. they've done it in the comics before. I really think that they would actually enhance each other rather than clash. Whereas Iron Man and Batman would, boom, head to head, they would clash constantly.
Well, Batman and Black Panther would be the same deal too.
This is going to sound weird, but I think Captain America would make a great team with the original Blue Beetle.
Yep.
The Ted Kord Blue Beetle.
Yes. Now,
Yeah.
are we talking Ted Kord in shape or Ted Kord from the 80s?
Ted Kord in shape.
Okay.
I'm still trying to think of a villain duo that a Batman and Rogers could face off against. I don't want to go. I mean, the instant thing you want to come up with is Red Skull and Joker, but no.
I got one. Thanos and Darkseid.
Not against Rogers and Batman.
Why not? That'd be fun.
That would be
Austin
obliteration.
I know. It'd be
Why?
fun to watch.
Batman has beaten Darkseid.
Exactly.
Darkseid is one of the few instances in which Batman has pulled out a gun and shot someone.
Yes, and he still got, sanctioned. So, no.
Fireflies all over this undercard fight. Black Widow versus Mercy. That's good.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Venom versus Ink.
Oh,
Ghost Rider and the Spectre versus Eclipso and Doctor Doom.
I feel like Sentry should be in there somewhere.
Spectre's really, really, really powerful compared to Ghost Rider.
Doctor
Yes.
Strange versus, what's his name? Equinox?
Yeah, again, I still can't find a actual good match for like Rogers and Batman because the ones that would be natural for them would be Red Skull and Joker.
Well, I'm thinking if you're going to have those two team up, Doctor Doom would be a good bad guy just on his own.
Yeah, because
Ultron, though.
no, not Ultron.
Ultron would be another good one too.
Yeah.
The problem with Ultron is that it takes a true team, full team to take him out.
Yeah, but you have Batman.
Even with Batman, man,
But you have Batman.
it's not enough.
He's like 5 people.
It's literally not enough.
He equals at least 5 superpowered people.
No, it doesn't.
He's Batman.
Exactly. He's Batman.
Batman's the one who has straight up said he cannot find a weakness for Wonder Woman. He has nothing to stop her.
Just a good kiss.
And Firefly points out Ultron has backups. So, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Ultron's
they're
not a
all
good
on-
fix.
they're
Doctor
all
Doom
EMP.
is, though.
EMP.
Nope.
Ultron has backups.
Ultron's hardened against that sort of thing anyway.
Are
That's
they
right, yeah.
Steagate or are they?
I think the Doctor Doom one, just Doctor Doom by himself, does certainly work.
If you were going to team up Batman with Captain America, then you could do Red Skull and Ra's al Ghul.
Ooh.
Oh,
Roz
yeah.
doesn't care.
That would
Yeah,
work.
Roz doesn't care. Ooh, that is a good one.
That's a good one. I like that.
I didn't even go in that direction. My mind just kept on gravitating to Red Skull and Joker, but we know that's not going to work because Joker is just chaotic anyway.
Carnage and Joker will work together.
Oh, good God.
Especially if Joker was wearing Carnage.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I think it would be Vandal Savage and Red Skull.
Ooh. That would be an interesting bad guy team up.
Yeah, I mean, Roz wouldn't particularly care as long as whatever Red Skull does, in it goes towards whatever he's planning, and Red Skull would basically be the same way, so they would definitely be good with each other, but with Vandal Savage, yeah, that would also work too, with the benefit of, doesn't Savage have, like, a super strength?
He's immortal, and he's a mutated caveman, essentially.
Mysterio is actually a really, really good bad guy.
Mysterio?
Yes.
Since when? He's got a fishbowl for a head.
His power, though, is actually pretty impressive.
What about Morbius?
The living vampire.
Yeah. Well, he's more of an anti-villain.
I mean, it's like you want to gravitate towards Batman, but I'm thinking some of the smaller, like Booster Gold.
I'm thinking Sentry and Ion versus just Power Infinity Gauntlet Thanos.
So I can only think of one villain on the other side that Booster could go against, and unfortunately, it's really, really weighed against Booster, and it would be Booster Gold versus Kang the Conqueror.
Oh boy.
Now, if we're going to branch out into the Image comics, I would pit Thor against Spawn.
Oh geez. You know, we didn't even mention a Green Lantern.
I did. Ion.
Yeah.
Ion's a Green Lantern, technically.
I don't think he's around anymore.
No, he's not, but
Jade versus Frigidaire.
The fridge?
God damn it. God damn it.
No fridging.
You had to go there.
That's exactly where my mind went to. It's like, wait, he's gonna fight a fridge?
Jade. Do you know who Jade was?
Alan Scott's daughter.
Yeah.
Versus a refrigerator.
No fridging.
God damn it, Adam.
Ah,
Tay, do you not know what fridging is?
I'm not following.
I found his girlfriend.
All right. So,
No,
Kyle
that's not his
Rayner.
mother.
Hold on. So, Kyle Rayner. The term came from Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. Right before he became Green Lantern, he found his girlfriend in a fridge, killed by Major Force. Yeah, Major Force had killed his girlfriend,
Which
and
is
shoved her in a
weird because
fridge.
he's actually a Captain Atom villain.
Yeah. So he ended up killing her and putting her in a fridge, and that was a plot line to make him become a hero. And
Not only put her in a fridge, he folded her up backwards
I
instead.
believe, didn't he do the same thing to Kyle's mother at some point?
I think he did, yeah.
Right, so I inadvertently made a terrible, terrible joke. I honestly pictured this is, you got Jade facing off with the fridge.
William Perry. Phil Coulson and the Phantom against the Mandarin.
Darkseid versus Galactus.
Or Phantom Stranger, sorry.
Phantom Stranger's pretty powerful.
So's the Mandarin.
Yeah, but Phantom Stranger is like almost on the Spectre's level in terms of power.
Yeah, Darkseid versus Galactus.
Oh.
Can you Omega Beam a Titan, essentially?
Well, seeing as Galactus is afraid of Thanos, and Darkseid could beat Thanos. Galactus. See, I don't want to put Wolverine with anybody because everybody does that. There's, Wolverine and Batman. Yeah, no.
Nah, I don't think they'd get along.
I'd team up Wolverine with John Constantine.
Batman would
jeez.
just get a really big electromagnet and say, "Okay, stay right here. I'll be back."
Actually, the John Constantine Wolverine one's not a bad mashup.
Actually, that's a pretty good idea. Versus
Because-
who?
I'm not sure who to put them up against, but I'd team them up.
Mephisto.
And Sabretooth. I mean, granted, that's kind of a given because they mutually hate each other, but we're pondering.
Ponder him thinking.
Are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking?
Actually,
right?
no. You know who I would team Wolverine up with? Detective Chimp.
Oh, jeez.
He's in. What was it Justice League Dark? Is that the one he's in now?
I have no idea.
Don't they split the team into 4? I think so, Brian. This time you put the chimp in the rubber pants.
I think so, Brain. But we're a bit short on rounds for the 105.
I know Detective Chimp is a member of the Shadow Pact.
Dexstar and Rocket Raccoon working together. And Dexstar being the Red Lantern cat. And you know what Rocket would first say. Even though they're supposed to be working together, even though Red Lanterns technically are villains, he's going to be like, oh, I'm going to get that ring.
I need that ring.
It's very important to me. Ooh, what about a Bucky? Who would he be working alongside with?
Deathstroke.
Why does everyone go to Deathstroke?
Because
Or
he's
Green
on
Arrow.
he's
If
on
you could
whatever
do it,
side
Green
pays him
Arrow.
enough.
Bucky and the Green Arrow.
Which version of Green Arrow? Are we talking the TV version or just the actual kind of more happy-go-lucky type?
He's not too happy-go-lucky in the books, dude. He's kind of angsty.
Well, because the TV show has planted that idea.
No, well, yeah. I don't know. He was kind of angsty in the Justice League cartoon. He was more full of puns.
Wait a minute. Bucky and Hawkgirl.
Ooh, Red Hood and the Punisher.
Oh,
Hey,
there's going to be murder. So much murder. Yeah, Firefly just even changed his Deathstroke option for Red Hood.
Well, that's where I got it. What was it? Aquaman and Thor. I think that'd be a good team up.
I would team up Spider-Man and Death of Superman era Superboy, the leather jacket one, the clone.
I liked that one.
He's still around though.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but now it turns out that he's got Lex's DNA in him, and it's.
What do you mean? Turns out that's always been the case. That was back in the day, man.
I hear Mercy has Lex's DNA in her too.
Oh my!
oh,
Mercy. Oh my!
There's one I just had, and damn it, your talk of Spider-Man and Superboy made me lose it. Oh, that's right, Sif and Wonder Woman.
Be a good one. If you're gonna do it though, I would go Jane Foster Thor and Wonder Woman
That would work too.
versus Hela. Just Hela. Ooh, Aquaman and Black Panther.
Hella is hella difficult.
You hella crazy. Look, we just killed 15 minutes doing that. Actually, after 11. See,
Well,
once you get thinking and see the creativity starts flowing.
now you're gonna have to draw every single one of these.
he's a bit busy.
I am a bit busy.
Do it.
Do it. Still haven't even started coloring Alistair's mage. Oh, but yeah, let's call it. What are we? Oh, I'm not here next week. I'll be in Floridia.
Oh.
Florida man does whatever a crazy man
You guys
can.
can get together. I got no problem with you guys getting together and doing something. I just won't be here.
I don't think we actually have the means to. Well, actually, that's not true. We do have the means to broadcast. I forgot.
Yes, you do. It just
Although-
won't be to YouTube.
I think that would be more through Alistair, but I don't know. We could probably take another break because then we might have more stuff to discuss when you get back.
Well, I'm sure because Comic-Con and all that stuff is coming up. So, let's see. We got before we go, last call on my end is it seems Infinity War will be dropping digital HD end of July, with the Blu-ray following very soon afterwards. And rumors have it that Solo will be on Blu-ray and digital in September.
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Anybody else got any last calls as I call it?
I'm going to meet the chat.
Explain.
At the end of the month, I am going to Raleigh SuperCon, and on Saturday, I have a ticket for a picture and autograph with the chat.
You need to drop the Geek EZ.
I'll see what I can do, but I mean, my guess is a third of the people are going to be plugging something like that to him.
Well, at the very least, you can just say, hey, I'm on a podcast with Geek EZ. What would be the best way to reach out to try to get you for an interview? That's all you need. And then we can figure out the rest. Because he'll probably say, oh, just talk to so-and-so. And that's it. Because he's obviously not going to commit on the spot.
Well, I probably will only get away with that if I ask him about horses first.
Look, figure it out. Make it happen. If we can get one, we can totally then get Mark Hamill. Our true goal.
Very true. Anybody else got anything?
I got an amusing tale I can quickly tell. So, yesterday I go to work, go down the back steps because I live on a second story floor. Not paying any attention, of course, because hey, steps, whatever. Go get to work, do the work, go to the store after work, and I come back and I'm halfway back to the steps to go upstairs to my apartment when I realize I have no steps. I just stop and I'm like, huh, my steps have run away. I had no warning that this is what was going to happen. I mean, I've never had stairs just run away before.
Where'd they go?
I don't know. They're just not there.
So are you trapped?
No, not directly. At least not from that direct. If I try to go from that direction, yeah, I'd totally be trapped. But I do have other stairs I can use. But those are the stairs I always use, and they're not there anymore. So I put up missing stairs posters around the neighborhood. No one's seen it yet or called in. Landlord has no idea. Just, I have no stairs. Kind of sad. I want my stairs to come back. Anakin?
Shenanigans.
Oh, yeah, definitely some shenanigans going on. The neighborhood's getting rough. They're stealing stairs. Probably kidnapped them. Oh, and I guess we should also mention as a last call that the Rise of Summer Festival is going on right now in Star Trek Online.
Go get your Horta.
Do you get a Horta?
Not a Horta. What's that thing?
Overboard? Caracal?
Floater?
No, the thing on Ryza that you put out if you want to get some.
Horgon?
Horta, thanks.
I think you get a different response when you put out a Horta.
Yeah, you put out a Horta, it's a whole different world. You can try, but it's going to be different. And on that note...
Actually...
go ahead.
I did not originally have a last call, but Firefly threw this out, so I figured I'd chat it out. We're going to get a 3D animated special for Monster Hunter next year. They also finally announced the PC release date for Monster Hunter World. Which I believe is next month.
Sweet. Well, where are we at? Nowhere. We're nowhere.
Badger has not spoken in a while.
Oh, trash panda.
That usually gets into response.
I've been occupied.
And on that note,
He's building a model.
Yes.
is that what they're calling it these days?
Yes.
Playing with your Gundam, huh?
Why does that sound like a thing now?
So, is that your Gundam in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Wow.
I'm happy to see the Gundam.
Oh my.
It's not where you put the missile. Not where you put the missile. Okay.
Not
well,
spring-loaded!
Michael Pena. Michael Pena has is going to be starring in a movie, an alien invasion flick, on Netflix.
So what, is he just going to stand there and have the same facial expression for 2 hours while aliens invade?
Apparently, yeah.
And then tell the story really fast later.
Yep, it's called Extinction. With Lizzie Kaplan.
Don't get me wrong, Michael Pena has gotten a lot better as an actor, but God, you go back and watch some of his older stuff and it's so bad.
Well then. 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll have stuff to talk about. I promise.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully. But until then, we got no closing credits, guys. Got nothing. It's just to say goodnight and we're out of here.
Wait, the fart song is gone?
Oh, I can play the fart song, but it's just old.
No, we're working on something else.
We'll work on something else.
I am trying to reach out to Starcady and see if maybe we can use one of his.
I'll just go for you. Does that work?
I don't think he's satisfied.
No. All right. Well, we will be back in 2 weeks. We'll have things to talk about. Thanks again to Firefly for joining in the chat and keeping us going. You're the glue that holds us together, man.
Oh my God, Firefly! He responded to the Gundam missile things. There's a button for more missiles and another for all the missiles.
All the missiles.
That's a Megas XLR reference.
Cock rocket.
That's not the button.
Okay. Say goodnight, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Later.
Goodbye.
Nobody was going to do that.
I hate it when he does that.